Moving on to the 17th topic, it is learning more on definite integrals. Now, before we start solving these problems, let us say there's a function like this. Okay, this is a parabola. A quadratic function would be its function. Now, imagine this is the x-axis, and I need to find these two. These 2 points are known. Say -2 and 2. Now, the function of this, that would be, it's obviously x squared because it's parabola. And since it's below the x-axis, there'll be minus, I'm not sure about the values, but I'll just take a wide guess to be -5. Okay. Now, over here, let us find the limits. I mean, let's find the area. How do we find the area? I don't want the entire area because the domain extends forever till all real numbers. I just need it from -2 to 2. Okay, these are my limits. Now let us check it in the calculator for 1 minute. Let's put it integral. You can do the integration and put the solve it by using the limits. It's up to you, but I'm just going to do the calculator method, which is very easy and it's short and easy. So over here, alpha x squared minus phi, the limit is from -2 to 2 plus equal to, I'm getting a minus sign. Now why I did this is just to make you realize, see, whatever you get in the calculator doesn't mean it's negative. It's just that it's below the x-axis. Area cannot be negative, isn't it? It's just that this region is below the x-axis. Okay, but now let me give you an instance where it would be in the y-axis. Sorry, I mean it would be like this. It's below, I mean it's below or above. Okay, I by mistake told you y-axis. So now look at this region. Let's find the interval over here. But the equation wouldn't be the same since the vertex is above. It'll be over here. This will be minus. This will be plus, obviously, and this x squared would be minus, isn't it? Because the parabola is opening downwards and plus. If you don't understand this part, it's fine, but just see this is the diagram and this is the approximate equation, and I'll just graph it over here. So it will be minus and this will be plus. I mean, I'll just type it and we will directly find the answer. Now look over here, it is positive. So what do you understand is the orientation of the parabola is very important. If it is opening downwards, then it would be positive value. So you do not need to do any alteration. But if it was opening upwards and then this is the x-axis, then remember the answer would be negative. So add a negative sign to the equation to make it positive. Just make it positive. That is, if minus value is there, just multiply it by minus. So now with that knowledge, if you are trying to solve this, it will be very easy. Now look over here. They have told you need to write all these statements in definite integral to find the area. The area above the x-axis and below this curve. See, this is the x-axis. They have told this is a curve. Now, since you need to understand this curve, how do you understand it? It's a quadratic, x power 2. And since it's minus, it'll be something like this. Okay? And this is plus 4, so it's above here. The tip will be at 4. Okay? The y value, it's around 4 over here. If this was the y-axis, okay, now that can't be the y-axis. Sorry, it'll be over here. See, now this is, but it's still not accurate, but this is an approximate. Okay, this would be 4 and it's opening downwards. Now they want to know the area above the axis. See, x-axis, this is the x-axis, above this and below this curve. So this is the area that you require. But now how do you know these points where the limits are? How do you know? Now looking at this equation, I will tell it -2 and 2. How? See, look, we have to find the x-intercept values. Whenever x-intercept, what is the y value over here? It will be 0. So equate this y as 0 and solve it. So it'll be 4 minus x squared equals 0. So x goes to the other side, 4 equals x squared. And take the square root on both the sides. It is plus or minus 2. That is x. So -2 plus 2. Now let us write the intervals. So it is integration from -2 to 2. Sorry, the limits are from -2 to 2. What is the function? 4 minus x squared. That is it. That would be your answer. So simple. Oh, now I have forgotten to write dx. Always dx will be there for integration. So now we can integrate this. So this is it. Now similarly, okay, now there's two cases. Whenever they ask you above x-axis, that means above x-axis and below the curve, or the curve must be, opening downwards. So this is the case. Even over here, it is very simple. You need to just equate this to 0. Now let us solve equating to 0. You can do it as quadratic, mod 5 and 3. Before x squared it's 1, and before x it's 4, and lastly there's no constant numbers, that's 0, minus 4 and 0. See, the answer will be, okay, now what did I do over here? Sorry, look over here, I've written 1, it's minus 1, so that's why I got the wrong answer. Just put the right values, exactly correct values, then you will definitely get it. See, now x1 is 4 and x2 is 0. Now always when we do it, we write in ascending order, 0 and 4. The graph is something like this. We need to find this area. So integrate this particular equation from 0 to 4. That's it. These problems are easy, but now what if the area is below? See, now it changes. See, they're asking like this. It's below over here. And we need to find this area, okay, for these equations. Starting concept is the same thing. Look, if you compare, it's the same thing. You need to equate this to 0, solve it, you'll get plus or minus 2, integral minus 2 to 2. But what is the difference over here is you're adding a negative sign. Why is this? The reason for this is because the answer over here, if you do without the negative sign, is negative, so it's below. Since it's below the y-axis, that's why you can just multiply it by the negative sign. Okay, so that's the thing over here as well. It'll be the similar thing. Now all you need to do is add the negative sign. See, the first 15 and 16 are the same questions. Only difference is, look, the negative sign. You can see this. Pause it over here, see these values, and then see these values. The only difference is with the negative sign over here and over. Okay, now sorry, I'll just make one thing clear. The equations are not the same. See, the equations are over here, it's positive, so it opens upwards. Okay. What I'm saying is the same thing. The method, the 0, everything is almost the same. Only the minus is the extra part. If you solve it, I mean, that's the only extra thing. Now let's see another type of problem like these. Okay, now over here, these are the last type of problems. The first and the second part is very easy, very straightforward if you understand the graph. But these are much more easier than the previous two, because over here they're asking the area between sine x. Now sine, the domain of sine is up, it goes until infinity, right? It's all real numbers, basically, domain. Only the range is restricted from -1 to 1. Now over here, so they will specify the limits, say 0 to pi. You need to know the basic understanding of sine. Sine starts with 0 over here like this, and it goes, okay? Now this will be 2 pi, this will be pi, where it changes, and now this is 0. Now from 0 to pi means this much. It's all above, isn't it? So now all you need to do is directly write 0 to pi sine x. That's it. Okay, see, they have mentioned the area between sine y and x-axis. Now let's see over here the area between sine x, it's the same thing, sorry, and the x-axis for these intervals. Now let's be a little careful. Now let me draw like this. Okay, that's not so, okay, anyways, just for understanding. And let me go over here as well. Now if you recall properly, see, this is somewhere minus pi by 2 is over here. Okay, why? Because this is minus pi, this is minus pi by 2, half of it, and this is pi by 2 positive, so somewhere over here will be pi by 4. So you need what? The area from here to here. So now if you're thinking, how will I know the sine graph? You need to know sine and cos. If it was cos, it will start from here. That's it. It starts like this. You can just use Desmos and check it out. What next thing would you do? Now, over here, you need to understand the left side is negative, isn't it? It's below the x-axis. So what we studied in the previous topic, just now here, it was always minus. So remember that concept. You need to integrate it from minus pi by 2 until where it changes. Where is the inflection? Where it changes its from negative to positive over here at 0. This is the point. Until minus pi by 2 to 0, it is one interval sine x dx, and it's minus. Just remember to add the minus sign. Whereas over here 0 to pi by 4, it's same just like what we did over here. 0 to pi by 4 is just sine x. That's it. So only for when it comes to trigonometric functions, just remember to use the graph.